Okay, so this is a live lead vocal. Let's talk a little bit about what I did to it. It's honestly pretty minimal processing. It was, again, recorded well, good isolation. First, and this is pretty standard, every time I start with a vocal, there's a roll off, somewhere in that area, 100 hertz or so, and I'm tucking out something that's piercing in the 3700 hertz range. A little minor compression. This isn't going to be doing a ton.
Here we go, asking the question. Say, why would you worry? Why would you worry?
Quick little, did max in the whole song just over 5 dB at its loudest point. But for the most part, it's a little bit of just general balancing, general peak reduction, smoothing out. And then I use Soothe 2 on this as well. This also gets rid of harsh frequencies, resonant frequencies, that kind of thing. Let's see if we can showcase what that's doing.
Let's ask the question one more time. Say, why would you worry?
Great way to show this is to press this delta button, which will only let you hear what it's taking out, what it's removing.
Let's ask the question one more time. Say, why would you worry? Let's ask the question one more time.
Just helps get rid of that piercingness that can happen in vocals. I use that plugin every mix and almost always on the vocal. Next, I have a massive passive, which I also oftentimes love on vocals. And I'm using only 2 bands on it. This high band and this middle high band at 2.2K there. That one's being cut. So again, harsh frequencies going down, but I'm boosting up. This is a almost 4K shelf boosting up. So let's hear what that's doing. Let me get rid of these plugins so you just hear that.
Somebody ought to scream because that's a prophetic word for you. Let's ask the question one more time. Say, why would you worry?
And this one.
Somebody ought to scream because that's a prophetic word for you.
If I boost that.
Somebody ought to scream because that's a prophetic word for you. Let's ask the question one more time. Say, why would you worry?
Love that plugin. It works wonders for me on vocals. Then I'm using a little bit of a clipper that I sometimes do on vocals, not consistently, but sometimes.
Somebody ought to scream because that's a prophetic word for you. Let's ask the question one more time. Say, why would you?
A little bit of kind of a saturation thing that just brought it forward a little bit more. So I liked that on this particular vocal and kept it, but that is it. That's pretty minimal, minimal processing of a lead vocal for me. And honestly, that's because it was recorded well with good isolation, and it's just a good performance of a live recording and didn't need a ton of things done to it. And same with effects. This is a pretty simple, straightforward. I'm using a stereo slapper that I like, slap delay.
Proving himself to you, and here's the best part. He'll do it again.
I'm using a plate, which I think is R-verb plate of some sort.
Somebody ought to scream because that's a prophetic word for you. Let's ask the question one more time. Say, why would you worry?
And lastly, an 1/8 note delay.
Proving himself to you, and here's the best part. He'll do it again. Proving himself to you, and here's the best part.
And that's an Echo Boy Jr. And those are rolling through the whole song. Those are not automated in level, I don't believe.
Listen, I hope you are enjoying this conversation with Jon Blass. I got something really quick that I want to show you though. Check this out.
Hey, this is Jon Blass. You may have seen that I just announced my Gospel Producers Mixing class. My intent here is to let you into my thought process, my insights, how and why I do what I do every day to create the best art that I possibly can for clients that I respect so much. I get to work with some really incredible artists, and this is how I think about mixing and music and art and how I get to the finish line with these records. Click the link in my bio or scan the QR code to gain access to this class.
So the overdubs.
We're going to have Bishop Hezekiah Walker help us with this one.
Can't say that in the live recording if he's not there, so we added that after the fact.
Welcome, Bishop Hezekiah Walker!
same with that. So, you know, he did a great job of matching. The EQ is different because I needed it to match a little bit better. It was a little too bright for me. Other than that, it is exactly the same treatment. And I thought it blended pretty well.
God praise and sing it with us. Welcome, Bishop Hezekiah Walker. You can't win.
Bishop's track here, similar processing. You'll see, I mean, no big difference here. The EQ, same on the track. On the sub, a little bit different. I'm having to pull out some of this 400 hertz and some of the 25. But the same plugins with similar settings. This one, I obviously pulled that boost way back to almost nothing. It didn't need it. Again, this is an overdub, very different track, very different recording.
And you can't die.
And if I had had this up here,
and you can't die.
It felt
and
too,
you can't die.
It felt too bright, too sizzly up there. It's almost doesn't feel bright. It feels icky. So that's that. I'm also adding another soothe to tame, again, that top end.
And you can't die.
So I'm emphasizing especially up in the way high range there to pull that back, to make it fit more into this live recording. Another EQ to do the same thing. I'm cutting a ton out at 13K there and dipping a little bit at even higher. And then I left this on, that was on the other track as well.